Hey Reeves, are you ready to make another top 10 video?
I sure am.
How about some pantry foods today, ladies and gentlemen?
Here we go.
Hey everybody, this is Dylan.
This is Reeves.
We are making you a top 10 pantry foods. As you can see, there are a lot more than 10 items in this video, so it's categories?
It's categories.
Oh.
It's categories. You guys saw our top 5 freezer foods video, and you loved it, so we thought we'd venture into the pantry. Let us remain calm.
We all know this type of eating requires you to prepare a lot of your own foods, and having a well-stocked pantry is essential if you want to stay on a healthy whole plant food diet without all the added junk food ingredients. So here are some of the best whole food ingredients that you should have ready access so that you can stay compliant and healthy for the rest of your life until you die.
And don't forget, there is a free download to this entire list below. I recommend signing up for that.
Get on the pantry list. Reeves is gonna make a really cute blog post for this too. You always know it. Number one.
Canned beans.
Canned beans. It's gotta be canned beans. You've gotta have those canned beans. We love to buy canned beans at Winco because they're very, and this can be found at many places, but they have such cheap, no salt added beans. So we can find pretty easily pinto and black beans, no salt added. Garbanzos is like hit or miss. Have you noticed?
Yeah, it's hard to find no salt garbanzos. Sprouts is the place to look for that, I think.
And half the time Sprouts doesn't have it, but here you go, Sprouts no salt added garbanzo beans. You bought them yesterday.
I love beans because you could basically almost eat them out of the can. I think that garbanzo beans and black beans have so much good flavor just plain. And that has saved me so many days that I haven't made a lunch and I've just opened up a can of beans on a bed of lettuce and called it a meal.
Garbanzos can be used for so many things, homemade hummus, you name it. And then here is a jar of pinto beans that I canned myself. If you want to learn how to can pinto beans, there is a super old school Well Your World video of me canning pinto beans,
really?
Among other things. So you can learn how to can them yourself. That's the super, super cheap way of doing it. Otherwise, you can buy them in the cans all ready to go. That is a staple. Here's a white bean.
We usually use the white beans for sauces or dressings.
Blending into sauces. Same with the garbanzos.
Garbanzos I love to just put on an air fryer tray with a little bit of spice, and that is great for
roasted chickpeas. We made the shawarma bowl on the cooking show. That was so good.
Beans.
Beans.
The
good
magical
for your
fruit.
heart. The more you eat,
the more you're smart.
Number 2 is baking goods. We don't do a lot of baking, but when we do, we're need
ready.
Ingredients. We are ready.
This is not everything.
Lots of different flours. I really like the chickpea flour as well. We do that for like the omelette-y stuff. I mean, is that baking? I don't know.
I don't know.
Whole wheat flour, you don't need whole wheat flour. Oat flour, we often take oats and grind them into a flour, but not anymore because Reeves doesn't eat oats either. This is vanilla powder. You know, vanilla extract is all right. We don't use very much of it, but we do love the flavor of the ground up vanilla powder. It's like I use in the banana pancake mix that we sell online. Same with the Energy baking powder is an SOS-Free baking powder, so we use that and love it as well. And soda keeps the fridge smelling nice and the pantry.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Number 3.
Vinegars.
Ooh,
Of all
vinegars.
kinds. Balsamic is a must. Apple cider vinegar, a must. And then you get into the white vinegars that kind of confuse me a little bit. It's like the white wine, the rice.
I like rice vinegar because it does add, we're trying not to use a lot of soy sauce in our cooking and stuff. Rice vinegar gives a really nice flavor to things like a sushi bowl. I really like the flavor of rice vinegar because it does Asian flavors without all that salt.
I do like a white balsamic from time to time.
Yeah, sure. I like a balsamic. We use a balsamic in a few of our different salad dressings, but we're not big on putting like balsamics on everything.
Apple cider vinegar is super handy because I feel like I put it into a lot of sauces and dressings and cooking, and
it is definitely our most used vinegar. Gotta have them. They add that acidic tang, lots of flavor to everything. We use a lot of vinegar, and you should too. Number 4.
Grains and tubers and root
onions
vegetables.
And pasta? How did you come up? Clearly Reeves is trying to limit this to around 10 categories, but it's a stretch. There are a few more than that.
I mean, it's how I organized it on the pantry list too. Sometimes it's like, these are starchy vegetables, so they could kind of be with the grains because they're.
Well, then we gotta bring out the dry beans too.
Yeah, it's difficult. I struggled.
We keep onions in the pantry along with russet potatoes, the sweet potatoes, any other potatoes.
I love rice. I cook rice all the time. Throw it in the Instant Pot. That's how I do it. I know you cook it on the stove. It's the staple for most of my meals, if not beans or both together.
And then of course, pasta. Usually it's whole wheat pasta for most people, but this chickpea pasta.
This should have gone in our dry beans category because it is chickpea. I can't eat gluten anymore, so we've been using the chickpea pasta and the lentil pasta, and I feel like there's like not a learning curve, but a hump to get over where you're not sure if you like it and then you love it. Am I wrong?
You might be right for some people, but I liked it from the start. It's really good. It holds its texture so it cooks in the Instant Pot meals that I do.
That's what I love the most
that I really
about it.
like about it. But I just love pasta. But that brown rice ramen also, that's a grain.
Yeah.
We didn't have that in this list, but the brown rice ramen that you can buy from Costco is so good. We better move on.
Number
5, dried legumes.
Some of the stuff we talked about in the canned section, I also like dry, such as the black beans or pinto beans or garbanzo beans, because those are fun to just throw in the Instant Pot for refried beans, or to have the garbanzo beans for making falafel, because you need those to be from
scratch.
Yeah.
From dry. But yeah, I love green or brown lentils. I love red lentils. Split pea soup is so easy with the green split peas or yellow split peas or whatever. Soy curls. I don't put them in a lot of things.
You're running at the end there.
I'm running low. I love soy curls for so many things, especially my starch blaster. It is one of my starches that go into my starch blaster most of the time. It's just soybeans, nothing's been removed. Yes, they've been processed a bit and dried, but it's a whole food is my understanding, so that's pretty healthy. It's not like TVP, textured vegetable protein, or garbage like that, where there's actually part of the food removed.
How do you feel about this being back in the
How
shop?
did the chickpea pasta get back?
I hope we put it in its rightful area.
I guess it needed to be. Let's move on.
Okay.
Number 6.
Soy milks in a league all their own.
Plant milks or soy milks?
Plant milks, but we just happen to only use soy milk for some reason.
We don't really, I haven't found an almond milk that's just very readily accessible as the Trader Joe's soy milk is. This stuff's like $2 a quart. I know. Go ahead.
It used to be $1.49, and here I was telling Dylan, this is the best soy milk and it's so cheap. $2.19 now.
Oh boy.
Can you believe it?
Still
Breaking the
well
bank.
worth it. I don't like to make my own plant milk. It's just too much work. I haven't really found almond milk without added junk unless you're making your own. Same with all the other milks. So for me, it's all about the quick, easy soy milk.
Yeah.
Number 7. Canned
vegetables.
Okay, vegetables.
It's mostly canned tomatoes and then just corn.
I like canned corn as much as I like frozen corn. It's the only one that passes.
Yeah.
But like canned green beans and peas, that is disgusting. Why would you ever eat something like that?
These are essential because they're the base ingredient to a whole heck of a lot of dishes.
Yeah. We don't use a ton of tomato paste, but when we do, you need it. You can. This is kind of a big can. You can get the regular 6-ounce can, which is half of this, which is better because half the recipes never use a whole can of tomato paste anyway, and then it ends up going bad. But tomato sauce and diced tomatoes, you can find these with no added salt. I would encourage you to do so because they put a lot of salt in these things. And we use diced tomatoes and sauce for almost everything. If I'm making something in the Instant Pot, I'll throw in a can of diced tomatoes into my starch blaster. These are must-haves. We'll go to the Winco with a crate, an old milk crate, and fill it up to the top. We can fit, what is it, like 48 cans in one crate, and we will do it.
If you dump this into a pot with a bag of frozen vegetables and a little bit of spice, you have a meal.
There you go. Number 8.
Spices.
Flavorings. You've got to have those flavorings in the pantry. We have many more than what you see here in our pantry.
Many, many more.
But we only had so much space here to make this video. But you know, there's all kinds of different spice blends. We're coming out with more spice blends soon, the Well Your World ones. Right now, we've got the Stardust, which is a favorite among all of you. This is a salt substitute, really good. Here's our Fiesta Fire blend.
Oh my gosh.
Our Everything Bagel seasoning, which is so good because it doesn't have the added salt. The store-bought Everything Bagels with the added salt are almost inedible. They're so salty. And then this we had to stick it in this department, but it's that dried, It's that dried veggie blend that I love for my starch blaster and a million other meals that you might just throw together in the Instant Pot. It's just got dehydrated carrots, celery, onion.
Is that the one you get at Winco?
This is the one I get at Winco. You can buy it online on Amazon too. But this is so great for when you just need to throw something together fast. I was talking about split pea soup earlier. You could just throw split peas and this and water, and maybe you gotta add some garlic powder, and you've got a soup. If you just let it simmer for a little while, boom, all you did was throw some stuff in and you're ready to go. The thing with this way of eating is we're not relying on salt, we're not relying on the oil for the flavors, so you've gotta really amp up the flavorings that you get from stuff like this. I usually double it from like what a recipe might call for if it's a truly SOS-free recipe, like without, you know, all the oil and junk.
Yeah,
so
spice it up, baby.
You gotta spice it up, baby. Number 9.
Veggie broth. I don't use this to make like a brothy soup, and we don't actually use it too often because we're used to amping up the spices and we just use water. But if you want a little extra flavor when you're sauteing or you're, I don't know, making another dish from scratch, that's how we use it, to splash into a recipe. Am I wrong?
Most of the time we're using it as we saute if we want to add flavor, but I am pretty easy. Like I'll use water because it's just so handy. And then what we'll often do, like you said, we amp it up with the spices, but if you wanted to just make your own broth because you didn't have any, you could use your favorite no salt seasoning, like this one's from Costco, and you could just blend it up with water and you'd essentially have a veggie stock really easily. Veggie stock can get kind of expensive. If you're using it in every meal, it's not that cheap. You can make your own, of course, that's pretty easy, but that's the veggie stock.
I love that you can keep it on hand though in the pantry, so we do.
Definitely try to get it without added salt. Here's one here that says unsalted, and it does not have any added oil either. The Sprouts one is not great. This one actually does have a little bit of oil in it, so we try to avoid this one. I think we bought this by mistake, but the Pacific brand one, that one is really good. I like it better than this one. It's low sodium, but definitely doesn't have added oil. But I don't actually buy the Sprouts one. I think we just did that by accident, buying it for this video. Yeah. So no big deal. Number 10.
Dried fruit.
You gotta have that mango.
Do you?
No, you don't have to have it. It is essentially cocaine. You gotta be careful with this stuff. I can crush this whole, this is what, a 3-pound bag, 2.5-pound bag? I can crush this in 2 days, easy, if I'm not careful. If you're buying dried fruits, try to make it single ingredient. Don't get any added. They sell mango at Costco also with the sugar all over it. That is way worse than chugging a bag of just plain old mango, which is already very calorie dense compared to fresh mango. So be careful with this stuff. I'll get into trouble with this if I haven't eaten all day and I'm procrastinating on going and getting food because I've been working all day, and then I'll just jump into this mango. That can be bad news.
The raisins and mostly the dates we use for baking and for making sauces.
Dates are our go-to sweetener. They don't get us into trouble because we don't snack on them like I do with the mango, really. These are the Deglet dates. I prefer Deglet dates over the Medjool's because they are cheaper. They're less sweet, so you lose a little bit more of them. But I think when you do the math, the Deglet dates, these are the big crate of them from Costco. We go through a few of those a year, and it's awesome.
And really, Dill, you have a great degletage.
Didn't see that coming. And raisins are great for some dishes. We don't do much with like prunes.
No.
We don't do much with cranberries except maybe around the holidays. Cranberries can often have added oil and sugar. They're really hard to find without it, so we don't do much with cranberries. Those are the dried fruits. Can you think of anything else?
No, because like you said, we don't eat a whole lot of them, and really you shouldn't eat those, but you do. I'm not judging you.
Aren't you?
Or not. We're done.
Well, let's move on. Number bonus. Well Your World products. The whole point of Well Your World products is to make this whole thing, this lifestyle and way of eating faster, simpler, and with way less effort in the kitchen. And that is why we came up with all this stuff, because they help me and I know they'll help you.
The cheese has saved our life so many times.
It's like our go-to meal for mac and cheese at least once a week. Our marinaras are so good for throwing together a pasta meal very quickly. And all the other things fall into lots of the categories we talked about today. The spice blends. Here's a gravy mix to make up a quick sauce, just like the cheese sauce,
Yeah.
pizza sauce. We got the marinaras, salad dressings. All of our Well Your World products make it that much easier to adhere to a health-promoting diet and lifestyle, so you should get a hold of them, wellyourworld.com/store right now, and that is our bonus.
Be sure to click below to get the free pantry list download. It has everything we talked about today and even more.
And let me know what we might have missed. What do you keep in your pantry that we didn't keep in ours? And if you have any other top 10 lists you'd like us to do, let us know down below in the comments. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.